This little girl was named Heidi, and this was her first time meeting her grandfather. Grandpa was chopping wood when Heidi politely approached to greet him, but his response startled her. Her aunt quickly pulled Heidi back in fright. After a brief exchange of words, the aunt abandoned Heidi and fled in panic. Seeing this, Grandpa ignored Heidi, turned around, and shut that door. No matter how much Heidi called out, he wouldn't open it. With her parents dead and her aunt unwilling to care for her, even her only remaining relative, her grandfather, had shut her out. When a violent storm hit that night, Heidi could only take shelter in the goat pen, hugging a little goat as she endured the thunder and lightning. The next morning, when Grandpa came to the pen to milk the goats, Heidi warmly greeted him again. He still ignored her, but ladled out some goat milk and handed it to her. Heidi was delighted, thinking Grandpa had accepted her. As she drank the milk, however, Grandpa coldly told her that he would have the priest take her to an orphanage later. Hearing this, Heidi's head dropped in disappointment. But when they arrived at the church, the priest told Grandpa he wouldn't be going to town for another 3 days, meaning Grandpa would have to care for Heidi in the meantime. Back at the house, when Heidi carefully asked where she should stay, Grandpa told her she could sleep wherever she wanted. Heidi happily ran inside, only to find the house contained just one chair and one bed. So she went up to the attic, which was filled with hay. But Heidi was perfectly content because Grandpa was now her only remaining family. At dinner, Heidi told Grandpa how happy she was. Though he remained silent, his heart was beginning to soften.
Grand-père, j'aimerais mieux pas aller à l'orphelinat.
Early the next morning, Heidi got up, drank the goat milk Grandpa had prepared, washed her face clean with fresh stream water, and followed Peter to tend the goats as Grandpa had instructed. Heidi was like a woodland sprite, running barefoot and free across the mountain slopes, looking out at the endless mountain ranges in the distance. She smiled with pure joy. They played in the grass, smeared jam all over their cheeks, and teased marmots together. Peter promised to take her to see the Edelweiss flowers, but Heidi felt a bit sad because tomorrow Grandpa was supposed to send her away. When she returned home, however, she discovered a brand new chair in the house only that Grandpa had made with his own hands. She understood this meant he had finally decided to keep her. Heidi was overjoyed and threw herself into Grandpa's arms. But not long after, her aunt suddenly showed up at the door, saying that a wealthy family wanted to adopt Heidi and was even willing to pay for her education. Grandpa didn't believe her and chased the aunt away. The aunt then found Heidi and lied to her, saying Grandpa didn't want her anymore. Before Heidi knew what was happening, her aunt was dragging her away. By the time Grandpa realized what had happened, Heidi was nowhere to be seen. He was heartbroken, not knowing where his child had been taken.